let's get started. As usual, first step, import lambdas. We go straight to converting all our data into tables. Call that one D. We'll call this one T. And sometimes I like to rename the columns for easier referencing, depending on what's there. This one's cities and distances, so we'll just call this cities. And then let's do a couple name ranges. We'll call this sit. We'll call these the ports. Not box, ports. And North Island should be north. Here, we'll get started. And almost always, it seems, the first level is some sort of lookup. It's like the easiest way just to get a quick win, get people some points on the board. Always a lookup. In this level, we're filtering for the name of the family whose preferences match these attributes. So the first attribute should be nightlife in this case. The second attribute should be culture. And if we don't find anyone, we say no family. Good. Okay, here we're going to look up the ordered preferences for this family. I'll return the whole table here except dropping the first column. So that's the first four. I want all of them though. I don't want just the first four. I want all of them, but they had to be in order. So I took the first four first, and now we'll stack against a filter of the rest. So we'll filter is NA X match. That's a fancy way of saying is not in this list. Is not in the list of attributes that we just looked up. And that should give us. What did I do wrong here? Is NA X match. It dropped everything. X match. I think I didn't close. I didn't close it properly, maybe. Is NA X match. Oh, right here, ATT. Okay. So now we have the attributes. We're going to map these attributes and lambda v. We're going to map those attributes and then look up the value of the attribute for specifically for Auckland. So the index is Auckland, and then the value is v. So those are the values in order. Now we can multiply that by a scalar vector 1, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. The rest are 0.4s. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And summing these up gets us our attribute score. Let's turn this into a lambda. Right, so we can now say round attribute score. Like that. Alright, level 4. We want the time it takes to travel. So we'll start out by doing a table lookup on cities to get the distance between each of these. Once you get the distance, you divide by speed to get the time. And then we have to add 3.5 hours if they have to take the ferry. So they take the ferry if they're not on the same island, north or south. So what we'll do is check if it's in the north. And that answer should be the same for the second city if they're on the same island. X match north. Then in that case, they don't. If they're on the same island, it's 0 travel time for the ferry. Otherwise, it's 3.5 hours, and that is our travel time. So we'll do the same thing as before. Create a lambda, marking our inputs. Save lambda. And then we can go equals round, travel time. Like that. Whoops. There we go. So now we're going to take the attribute score and modify it by the travel time. All of these games here use Wellington as their port. Time is travel time for the port and the destination, plus 2 hours for the customs. Our base score is our attribute score, destination, and family. But our modified score is going to be, actually, I'm going to name this total. Total score is going to be our base score times 1 minus the time in hours times 2%. And just like before, we're going to mark inputs, this time 3 inputs, save lambda. And now we can round total, input our 3 parameters. That is our modified score. Here they want to know the best destination for each family. So we will do a rank by, which is my custom lambda, feed it all the values. So we're going to map each destination into a lambda and then give the total score for that destination. So family is here, port is there. Now we want to give the labels for my rank by, which is the family names, and then the return values. Okay, something went wrong. Don't know what. Let's see what we got. Good values here, but we have more names than values, so we gave the wrong values right here. It should be destinations instead of family names. There we go. So now we can text join delimiter, this value, and then rounded number. Like that. Okay. Alright, so for level 7, it's a little more complex. I'm going to create room for a data table. And we'll start off with the ports. So in this level, you can start off at your port of entry, but then you can fly to any of these cities before driving to the rest. And flying can be a little faster, so that's the goal, is to find out, is it faster, or for which city would we still want to go to. Okay, so the distance between these is going to be table lookup cities. We'll look up that and this. And then that's the distance in kilometers. Divide by 800 kilometers an hour. This shows how much time was spent on the flight. Now, bring in all the destinations. We're going to use that total lambda that we wrote earlier. And then plug these values in with appropriate anchors. And something didn't work right. Why not? Total is destination, family, and oh, I've got the wrong one here. That's right. Okay. Now we need to do a little modification to this because we have to adjust for the flight time. Fortunately, OA Robot has this awesome feature, Edit Lambda, where it reverts back from a named lambda and it gives the original in a let format. So here I'm just going to edit it inline. I'm going to add the flight time, which automatically adjusts the score, and then we can paste those formulas. Now we haven't changed that named lambda at all. This is all hard coded in as a lambda here on the screen. So I think that's a really great feature. We'll take the max of each row and then do a rank by. Here's our values, here's our labels, and the answer is the same as before, delimited join this and then the rounded value of this. Okay, so those are good. Now we go to our bonuses. Which attribute score is most common? So I'll just do the most of this area. How long does it take to get from Dunedin to Gisborne via Nelson? So we go to Nelson first, and then from Nelson we go to Gisborne. Like that. Which family would enjoy traveling to Auckland? So in this rank by, we're going to give the values of each family. So we're going to map the family name, lambda v, and we'll give the attribute score of the destination being Auckland. And then our labels are the family names, and we want the highest one. Keep. Right. Starting in Whangarei and continuously driving to the nearest destination, what distance will you cover by the time you arrive in Queenstown? Okay, so starting at this city, let's say, what's left? Valid cities are going to be filter sit on isNA X match. We have to look back at our historical ones, and so we'll anchor just the left part of this, and our visited cities list will grow as we copy and paste that over. So we're gonna say isNA, and let's check valid. No, something didn't go right there. Because why? We didn't X match the right values. There we go. So we're not done here. These are just the valid cities that we could go to. We need to figure out the distances. So we're gonna map those valid cities, lambda v, and then do a table lookup cities. Index is going to be the last city we visited. Column will be v, and that should give me distances. Good. From here, I want the city that has the least distance. -1. Nope, that didn't work. I know why. Note to self, I need to change this named lambda to automatically convert these to column vectors. Okay, so we have that. We can fill those to the right, and then look up the distance between each of these. So cities, cities, all, this city versus that city. And we can just say sum from here until Queenstown, 2384. Alright. Consider all possible destinations from all possible ports of entry. Which family? Okay, so we'll rank by, and we're gonna map all the families. T-name. And then lambda v, n, I guess, for name. Then we're going to map all the ports. Map ports, lambda p. Then we're going to map all of the destinations. Destinations, map, lambda v. And we'll do total. Destination is v, families n. Port map max lambda map. Here we want family names, and then we want the highest possible. Umaga. And that's that. I'm Excel Gladiator, and my goal in creating this video is to help people level up their Excel skills, as well as grow the world of Excel esports. If you want to help me do that, please like and subscribe, drop a comment, or check out one of these other videos.